Space Marine 2 developer doubles down on his sort of lambasting of the gaming industry being ridiculously full of messaging. Brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So what are we talking about? We're talking about this. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 developer Matthew Karch basically confirmed the authenticity of his comment, where he lambasted Embracer Group for having overblown attempts at messaging or imposing morals on gamers, and just that he wanted to get back to playing normal games again. Just games where you escape and have a bit of fun. You know, those things that from a bygone era that we used to have. You know, just fun games, basically. So I thought this was interesting because, of course, a lot of people saw that comment, saw the videos about it, and was like, oh, is this true? Like, what's going on here? But yeah, no, basically confirms it. Doubles down, which is brilliant. So good for him. Hit subscribe if you're new here. We'll take a look at this. Link down below as well, the article. But yeah, let's dive into it. So, for those that don't remember this sort of story, if you're new to hearing about this, the CEO of Saber Interactive, Matthew Karch, or the developers of Space Marine 2, basically commented on Asmongold's YouTube channel, right? And he said, hey man, CEO of Saber here. I love your videos. When we signed the deal to make Space Marine 2, all I wanted was a throwback game. We had the chance to work on something which by its nature was old school. I can't even comprehend many of the current games that we play these days. They're too complex and too much of an investment. We worked on Halo back in the day, and that game could be distilled down to the simplest of shooting loops, but it was entirely addicting. That is what we wanted to recapture. So Karch then shared his hope that Space Marine 2 and Black Myth Wukong are the start of a revival. He says, I hope that games like Space Marine 2 and Wukong are the start of a reversion to a time when games were simply about fun and immersion, which is what games should be. Like, just piss off with this weird woke nonsense. Trying to tell me what I should or shouldn't do. Trying to, you know, inform gamers' morality moving forwards. No, piss off. It's not your job. You've got no right to do that. Just go away, right? Honestly, just go away. No one's interested in this crap, which is why these games are not selling, but the ones which don't focus on that are selling. So anyway, he'd also say, I spent some time as Chief Operating Officer at Embracer, and I saw games there that made me want to cry with their overblown attempts at messaging or imposing morals on gamers. We just want to do some glory kills, get the heart rate up a little, and for me that is what games should be about, which is epic. So, was this him or wasn't it him? Because of course it's just a YouTube comment. Yeah, it was him. So Karch appeared to confirm the comment's authenticity in a response to the game's fund founder, Ilya Eremeev, on LinkedIn. Eremeev praised Karch for the post on YouTube, writing, quote, one of the coolest things I've read recently. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 is a badass game. We played it in co-op with Maria Kochmola and had tons of fun. So refreshing to see Matthew Karch engaging with the community-based CEO. I wish big companies will hear the community and their customers, you know, players, and not just shareholders. Yeah, I mean, the players are actually... So, it's interesting that even the framing of that as a comment sets up like an antagonist and, you know, a sort of opposition between shareholders and players. What is in the players' best interests, right? So, pleasing them to what they want to get out of a game is in the shareholders' best interest. So, the shareholders want money, and to get shareholders money, you need to give the players what they want. They're not actually opposing forces. They should be working in unison, right? Like, you have a company because you have gamers. If you stop pleasing those gamers, you don't have a company, you don't have shareholders. You've invested in the company because primarily at one point they developed games that people wanted to play. If you no longer create games that people want to play, i.e. pleasing the player, then, well, you fucked up big time, haven't you, really? It's just nonsense. It's so bizarre that, you know, just generally speaking, we set up this sort of opposition between shareholders and the customer base. Because this is applicable to anything, right? Like, you just won't have shareholders unless you're pleasing your customers. So very strange. So very, very strange. But then that's where bigger shareholders because this is what you're screaming down below in the comment section, which absolutely do want to initiate societal change. Like BlackRock, for instance, they absolutely do want to do that. And Vanguard, there's multiple big investment corporations that want to do these things, hedge fund management, whatever. And that's where they come into it, because they absolutely do want to steer the morality of the customer base of these companies. But then you won't have a customer base. You just won't. And what we're seeing in the gaming industry is an exponential... Well, it's the find out part of effing around. But we're seeing that exponentially quicker than we had with movies. Which is brilliant. I love it. I love the fact that we're seeing this. And that's why we're seeing loads of studios shut down. Because you effed around and now you're finding out. You have to give players what they want. You cannot steer morality when it's opposed to what the majority want. It's just not, it's not how it works. So anyway, sorry, I digress a little bit there. Hopefully you enjoyed my rambling. But anyway, Karch actually responded to this and said whoever wrote that seems pretty sharp. There you go. So yeah, like he absolutely is doubling down on that. So on top of this comments, Karch also revealed that Space Marine 2, quote, wildly surpassed Saber Interactive's projections for the game. In fact, the success of the game led to Aleph Capital Partners and Crestview Capital Partners to fund Saber Interactive. So he wrote the following. After our departure from Embracer, we've been working on finding a partner with the resources to help Saber grow and with the foresight to believe in our business plan. On the heels of our release of Space Marine 2, which has already wildly surpassed our projections, we are proud to announce that we have taken on 2 equity investors, Aleph Capital Partners and Crestview Capital Partners. I can't express how happy I am to have gotten this done and how excited I am to be working with Jamie and Brian. This is a new chapter in Saber's history and we are well equipped to help change the face of the games industry. That's good. We could not... I mean, but that will happen. Games, you know, selling wildly past their projections and reaping incredible profits will change the gaming industry because other games companies will be like, shit, we need to copy that. Fuck. You just need one outlier. We could not have gotten here without the support of Lars, Kiki, and Jacob from Embracer. I have and always will consider them to be part of our family. And of course, a massive thanks to my brother, the keyboard god, Michael Levy, who has been our advisor, friend, confidant, and my personal therapist for the past 18 months. Saber is committed to changing the way we make and deliver games. Gone will be the days of 100 million plus budgets and the nickel and diming of gamers. Our industry has been stuck in the Jurassic era of bloated budgets, same as the film industry, and risk-laden releases for way too long. With Crestview and Aleph by our side, we are poised to change that. That sounds epic. What confidence is bleeding out there. And it is the top-selling game on Steam. You know, I mean, look, it's too expensive for me to want to buy. It's like £60 for me, and it doesn't have a huge single-player campaign. So I'm not interested in buying it. I want more single-player campaign. But that's... I'm just one person. You know, you're welcome to enjoy it, of course. But it's blowing up. I mean, look at this. It's brilliant. 24-hour peak. Like nearly 100,000. All-time peak. 225,000. I mean, it's brilliant. For what is considered basically a Western game, this is blown up. Which has been a long time since we've had a Western game blow up. The last game that blew up is, well, way bigger than this was Black Myth Wukong. So, good for Space Marine 2. Excellent stuff. Please do change the face of the gaming industry. So let me know what you think down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Guys, I cannot make these videos without your help. I do get demonetized here, so please do check out my Patreon. It's linked down below. You do get access to some benefits, so please do support the channel. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye now.